Hey everyone, this is Villains Man bringing you session 25 of our D&D campaign, the Ancient World Reborn. It's a milestone, 25 sessions in. When we split all these up, we're almost to 100 videos.
Nice.
I think currently right now we are on 88, so probably next session we'll hit 100 different videos on this.
Right. Okay.
That's pretty good. But I'm your DM, JVD.
Hey guys, I'm Evan the Great from the Villains Demand. I'm playing Luda Silverstring, the Elven Bard. Things are heating up.
Hey, I'm the Bearded Wonder of the Villains Demand, and I'm playing Vesper Nord, the Moon Elf Rogue. And we decided to name our gaming group here the Bearded Bastards.
I like it.
I'm Smiley, playing Ura the Whitehammer, and I spent my pregame doing accounting.
He did.
I'm West playing Roland Ivor.
Well, you are a merchant. So says the titles. You are a merchant. So, before we get started, is anybody curious to what's in the box? Any
I'm
ideas?
curious.
It's not Orvusier's pretty little head. This is not
God,
seven.
I was praying for it.
So, anybody here take a guess what's in the box?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess Ironslag.
It's the mech that they made.
Maybe. It's a good idea.
See, I was gonna just guess in general that was gonna be Ironslag.
It's just one of
Or
those
they're all
suction cup
working on
dildos.
it.
Just suction cup to the mat. That's what it is.
That's gotta be it. You would be the one that would go there.
I'm bringing back my Metalocalypse days. Nothing.
It's like you ain't just. That's so stupid. Nothing.
It is a mechanical bear.
All right. Or about called you Rupert. Give me the recap.
You better take the box out.
We fought a dragon. It was our fault. We did a shit ton of damage. Me and Luda did this whole I drop, you heal me, you drop, I heal you dance there towards the end.
Well, I just kill it.
Yeah, well, Vesper just shot at it repeatedly. Refused to get close to the damn thing with his fancy sword.
What?
Because it was knocking us down. I had shield on just so it could miss me. After like all my first level slots, so my second level slots on shield in that fight, just so it had a chance to miss me.
And it still hit.
Yeah,
Most of the time, like 90%.
yeah. But we arrived in Ironslag. Our session ended with us meeting Duke Zalto face to face, proclaiming that this great colossus of adamantine that he's working on rebuilding from the scraps of the old ancient war was going to bring an end to Tiamat once for all and put Fire's firmly at the top of the Ordning.
So, based on your description of Ironslag, starting with the Yak Folk village, and all the way down here to the bottom of this forge, we'll go around the table. We'll start with Roland. How do you feel about this place?
It's not a good place. It's a slave camp.
Ord?
Orid sees it as a means to an end, and it hurts him to think that way.
Vesper?
She doesn't like the slave part, but right now she's going along with it, going whatever non-wheels at this point, I guess.
Luda?
Oh, Luda, sometimes you have to embed yourself with enemies, but that don't mean I cannot seek justice upon them if the time is right.
I was gonna say you don't have to like it, but fuck.
Yeah, alright.
It's relevant shit.
As you guys are making your way down the stairs, I did mention, there were some small folk down here talking to Duke Zalto, and you notice amongst them a half dragon, the color red. And he towers over everybody. He's a good 7.5 foot compared to these people that are down there below him. You guys make your way down. Zalto's just like got his hands spread, like showing off what they've got of this thing called the Vondog. It's got these giant rubies for eyes, these giant like bull horns on top of its head. You guys have seen the stone from Nightstone, which is literally part of this giant sword they're forging back together. He looks up and you guys meet eyes with him, and his eyes, you can see, are just almost cold. Like there's not a whole lot of care in his eyes. And he tells him, Blagothkus, what have you brought me? And you guys are marching down. Behind you guys there's this ogre with Glazelle's head. You guys are marching down these giant mesh steps, which is quite a trick for you guys because you're small. So, yeah, it's almost like you gotta throw yourself off of them.
That wasn't always a spot for Patty. Wearing ourselves out.
Pretty much, yeah. As he says this, these small folk in this dragon, they turn up to look at you guys as you come down.
Does Blagothkus answer him?
Turns to look at you guys.
Hey, our husband's Tiamat, and we bear a gift.
He says, wow, a great gift.
Hey, a nasty beast. It may not be ancient, but yes, very large.
He gives us a good belly laugh, holds his belly, says, nasty. The beast looks dead to me.
It is now.
As you guys get closer, you notice he's not wearing any armor or anything. He's just got this maul. It's got this dwarf in it. Giant warhammer. And he wears a fine shirt made of black dragon scales.
Nice.
I mean, his boots, black dragon scales. And he says, dwarf, what is your name?
Consider how high up you may be to even hear him.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are making your way down these stairs. You're getting close to the bottom.
I'm here to talk to Duke Zalto.
I mean, anybody else, as you guys are coming down, care to announce yourselves?
I'll turn to Duke Zalto as if he's wanting our names as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's who he's looking at. He's looking at you guys.
Oh,
Blagothkus is looking at you guys.
I thought you said the
know.
dwarf said that.
No. He said dwarf. He was talking
I thought you were
to
talking about the dwarf and the hammers to that.
No.
I am ordered. These are my companions. Luther, Vesper, Roland.
Give a gracious bow, and he says my name.
He says, tell me, how did you kill the worm?
With a cannon, magic, and weapons.
A cannon, you say?
Aye, one fits in your hand.
He kind of strokes his chin. He says, what cannon?
Pull it out.
Her name's Mary.
And his eyes get wide as he sees this. You notice Blagothkus is looking at him and he's like shaking his head yes. He said, come, Ord. Show me this cannon.
I do want to know that Rupert is next to me. With fire grasping craftsman, I didn't bother hiding me.
Okay, that's fine. So you guys come down these stairs.
Yeah.
As you notice, these people below you do not take their eyes off of you. This red dragon, I mean, fully armored. There's two people with him. Based on their armor, you cannot really tell if they're human or if they're an elf.
Yeah.
But their armor almost looks like, in the spaces between it, flows molten steel.
Ooh, fancy.
Two people with them. These are two warriors. There's two people, and all they wear is cloaks. But their hoods are made of wreaths of living flame, and their faces are horribly scarred from fire. And below them,
Literal flame, not
yes,
magical.
literal
Not
flame.
magical make-believe.
Yeah,
flame.
it's like flame.
This is that burn their face.
And then below them is a woman who wears a long cloak, which looks like it's made of flame. She wears armor, and she carries a two-headed glaive. And they just watch and see as you guys come down. As soon as you get down the stair, Zalto literally motions to you, or with his hand, fast, like he's wanting you to hurry up.
Double time.
No, I'm moving.
And he sticks out his hand. Kind of looks at it. He's picked it up in his forefinger and his thumb, and it's a wee thing.
Hey, because it's made for me. I
And
promised Blagothkus if you give me access to the force to make him one.
Blagothkus says, yes, and I do look forward to such a weapon being in my hands. And Zalto looks at him, he says, for the giants! And he says, yes. And he said, hopefully we can make more.
For the death of Tiamat.
And when you say that, Zalto laughs and he points to what's built of the upper half of the Bogdad. He says, for Tiamat. You can tell, now that you're closer, there's a little bit of craze to him.
Oh, yeah.
Blagothkus tells him, he's like, did you not favor the drow? And he said, no. He said, 2 days ago, these small folk and the dragon showed up, claiming to help, claiming to be allies. Everybody roll me perception side as you're standing down there amongst everybody.
Oh, wait, sorry, yeah. That's probably gonna be it. God have mercy, my luck's shit.
Yep, 7.
Oh, 30.
Yeah.
10.
Together we have 40.
I got a 9 with this man.
Oddly enough, Vesper, as you're looking, kind of lock eyes with this dragon, this red half dragon. And you see something you haven't seen in a while. You noticed he wears a symbol on his armor. They all wear the same symbol. It's almost like a triangle with a line through it. But he also wears another one. The last time you seen it, you were on an airship. Cloth. Where's the insignia of cloth? He tells you, Zalto goes on and says, Suitor favored me, brought me these people, called themselves the Eternal Flame. He says, they have agreed to steal Megara as long as the elemental is released to them afterwards. They've even promised to use the beast against the Queen of Dragons. Blagothkus, you see he's kind of pondering what he's telling him. Like, and he's kind of slowly starts to nod his head. They believe they can control it, for they are one with living flame. And well, as he's saying this, you can tell there's a lot of pride within them when they say this. And they're like, but they never take their eyes off of you. As you recall,
Am I close enough to Zalto where I can say something about
no, you're right there, yeah, with him. I mean, he's still
without
looking at you.
them hearing me?
Yeah, he'll hand you back your tiny weapon to him.
I'll take it as he does, I'll say, they may flames one thing, but isn't Megara primordial? It is essentially an elemental god itself.
He said, it's all the same, but I only need it for one thing. Only its fire, its living embodiment, can forge this machine. And he's, once again, opening his arms, like showing you every part they had to the god.
And also, if you promise it its freedom, we'll be more than happy to help with whatever you need.
Whose freedom?
Megara's.
He says, being a dwarf, you've been to Gauntlet Realm.
Not me. I don't.
I'm
I'm not. I am a dwarf, but not like many other, you could say.
He says, so what good are you to me? He says, I need in there. I need the beast. The dwarves will not give it so easily.
I'll speak up. I'll say, I follow Anon, and Anon.
He laughs as you say this. The All-Father of Giants, favor to you,
She was
the wee elf. And he just, he just gives this big belly laugh.
That's just that's what I'm on as well.
I'll just say yes. Anon has blessed me with
As was I.
renewed strength and life.
Roll me a persuasion as you're doing this.
Not very good. 6.
He doesn't believe you.
That's okay. He doesn't have to. I'll just tell him that the All-Father wishes for Tiamat to be destroyed, so whatever the All-Father wish.
He says, I know such thing. I've talked to the eye.
So have I.
He said, and it told me I was to bring war to the dragons. I was to find this. Once again, he just waves his arms and he shows this machine. He says, and with it, my kind will rise to the top of the Ordning.
If it is the All-Father's will, then I will help you.
He says, no, it is my will.
I'll just nod.
And with Sutor at my side, watching over my kind, we will hold the court of giant kind. Anybody else?
Ludo's not like any of this.
That's all.
Then I think this is the least amount. Like, ever since Orbustier's died, you guys have been like the most quietest. Like, it is down to everybody.
My brain's all kinds of jumble right now. I'm sorry.
So,
Ludo don't like any of this. 'Cause she's seeing what's going on here. Once they wipe the dragons out, they want to take over.
is that what you say?
No, that's what she's thinking in the back of her head.
Well, what made you think that?
Oh, they're building this big robot and they want to become the number one on the ordinance and all that shit.
The ordinance? You always call it the
Well,
ordinance.
They have all these slaves in here. Yeah. She knows this is fishy situation. That's why she's keeping her mouth shut. Let her do the talking.
Okay, I'll tell him if he needs to get to Gonto Ground, Greenfields Company will help him.
He tells you, blessed of an arm, how do you plan on doing that? You notice when you say this eternal flame, they kind of look at you like they're curious to your plan to come in.
We may be able to reach Bruder Battlehammer's wife in Waterdeep and have them escort us there.
It's a good plan.
Tells you, what would the queens be doing in Waterdeep?
Because they're scared of you guys.
Essentially.
He laughs.
They
should be.
How many cities have always giant candelated in the last several months?
He said, our mission has been righteous.
Aye, but it's also caused a cover for the dragons. They're more concerned about you than them. They don't believe us.
They should be.
Fair enough. But there's your courage. We may be able to get you into Gonto Ground. Or get us into Gonto Ground. We can perhaps get this elemental out for you.
This woman for the eternal flame, she steps up. She's wearing this cloak of fire, this armor. She's got this two-headed glaive, and she says, how?
I just told you how.
She's like, your way is no better than ours. We can travel the flame beneath the earth, take us straight to the primordial, and take it. The dwarves will never know. And Zalto kind of just shakes his head and he says, she brings a good point.
Okay. So what else do you need?
Aye, but is her father a clan lord? Aye, but is her father a clan lord?
What goods does that do in war?
No, it's a way in.
And it's better than hers. Unannounced, unseen.
Mine's with welcome moms.
And what does that get us?
Everything with less commotion. Throw suspicion off of any servants of the living flame or whatnot. It'll be on me.
He kind of looks you over. He says,
Or's been fairly stone-faced this whole fucking time.
he says, and how do you plan on talking the dwarves into releasing the primordial?
Do you have a way to contain it?
He smiles. From in his pouch, he pulls out an iron flask.
I don't even talk to them at all, I just need to get close.
He says, all you need to do is touch it.
Aye.
He says, but the dwarves will not come off easy of it.
Don't take it.
And you'll take it, huh?
Dwarves are stubborn folk. I can bother with my thunder cannon.
Blagothkus speaks up. He says, do you not think you've done that enough?
What am I
He
saying?
says, I would wish that it not fall into the hands of more of our enemies.
No, I said I'd actually give it to him.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not.
So you would lie to your dwarf kin.
I promised some schematics.
And he says,
Not complete ones.
the best of all of dwarven kind, forge an iron gauntlet grim. Surely, with your schematics, they could easily build the weapon. The beast would give them the magic needed.
I doubt.
Dwarves aren't known to use very much magic, no, are they?
He says, in Gauntlet Grim you don't. The Primordial does it all.
Aye.
Or it's smarter than most dwarves. Well,
That he is.
all dwarves, I would say.
He says, obviously, he's not in my chains.
True.
You have me off, that's up to you if you wish to take it. I'll not force the issue.
Roll me a persuasion. You can tell the
18.
18?
Yeah.
You can tell the Eternal Flame are getting a little nervous as you're speaking of this. Roll an 18. He kind of looks at Blagothkus, and Blagothkus is like at a loss for words. He says, a moment, please. And he motions Blagothkus over. They walk off out of earshot, and they're talking. They both keep looking back at everybody. And this entire time, these Eternal Flame people just watch you. You can tell they're very angry at what you've proposed.
So I saw their symbol cloth on the
You saw it's only on the dragon.
You still haven't told us about it. We didn't notice it.
Yeah, you're the only person that saw it. Everybody else literally wrote crap.
Yeah,
I'd probably say that
I'll
I was
turn
more
to him.
focused
I
on
mean, just try to
him.
roll with disadvantage.
I'll turn to the red dragon, and I'll be like, I see you're a follower of cloth.
He says, I could smell my father on you.
Yes, he gave us an airship.
Oh, it's a nice one too.
He says, a gift from cloth always comes at a price.
Aye.
What's up? Said,
We owe him now.
huh?
We owe him now.
He says, he'll claim when you least expect it. Anything else?
I'll just be like,
He'll be waiting a while
Be
because we
like-
expected.
I thought of pledging fealty to cloth myself lately.
And he says, a wise decision.
I think so.
And he says, eventually, maybe we will be one.
Perhaps. I nod.
Honestly, after this, I told him myself I intended the quote.
The woman who had spoke up, she cuts him off and speaks to him in a language you have never heard. And it literally sounds like the crackling of fire.
Infernal.
And they kind of have words with each other.
Ignorant.
Oh yeah, well we all speak.
Couple moments pass. Duke Zalto and Blagothkus come up and he's like, Dwarf, you've piqued my curiosity. But these small folk have already pledged their loyalty to me. It is only fair that they get a chance. He says, I propose a contest of martial skill.
Did you mention to us about the cloth thing? Was it out loud in front of us?
Yeah.
He was just talking about it.
Okay. Well, he was off. I was just
Well, now they want
because I was going to say, how can they pledge
skill.
loyalty to you
Yeah,
and serve cloth?
You ask him that?
Yeah.
You ask Duke Zalto that.
Yeah.
He says, all
Isn't it your goal to take down the dragons?
he
Not
says,
just Tiamat, but all of them?
he says, how do you know of cloth? And the dragon will speak up. Did your friend just not say that cloth helped you? Is what the dragon says. He says,
Help them.
so I smell him on all of you. Are you no different than me? Do you come here with lies? He said, I am one with the flame. Cloth is only my father.
Interesting.
I have taken no gift from cloth. What have you taken? And he looks at all of you. His eyes set on Vesper. So, contest of martial skill.
Indiana Jones
Beat.
sword. Just
Eternal flame. They all look at each other, and what you assumed is their leader. We accept.
If we
What are the
accepted,
specifics?
if we accepted Ord as the
He
leader,
he decided, Jones.
I
He
think it's
says
more interesting.
martial skill, no magic.
I
It gives
think
me common.
Is it martial skill?
yes.
Does a what? I mean, he can tell that he sees all of your crystals and stuff.
I think it'd be more interesting to see a race to who can get the elemental for the Duke first.
And with the Queen of Dragons coming, do we have time for such a race?
Well, if it's a race, you get it twice as fast.
He says, look, I prepare for war. Would it not be best if their allies can prove themselves on the battlefield? Are you scared? You have slain a great worm. Are you fearful of these people of living flame?
No, but we have a lot to do.
The lady speaks up. She says, then accept, coward.
Just want to get this over with, guys.
Aye.
No.
You accept?
Aye.
Zalto, you can tell he's excited. He claps his hands and rubs them together. He says, it's been too long since there has not been violence in the forges of Ironslag.
And to be fair, magic propels the projectiles of the cannon.
He says, then it does not work.
Aye.
Martial skill only.
As you wish.
So, he says, follow me. You guys go through, leave the forge. He takes you down to a cave. It winds down, and it's literally an open cavern. A good 100 by 100 foot. And from his pocket, he produces a giant red crystal. And in some words that you do not understand, he rubs the crystals in his hands and he says, let the fires of war show your worth. And he throws the dust into the air and it sprinkles into a circle, and raging flames form a ring.
Undershines.
And the reveal. Oh, cool.
Someone wants to set my flames up that it fell over there.
Now, what would you do? We said no deal.
And he says, 3. The best of 3. And he looks to the Eternal Flame and he says, Alennis, your first warrior. She says, Kilo, step into the flame. He's one of these guys that's covered in armor, and between the spots of his armor looks like there's molten steel. He carries this giant spear, and the tip of it literally is on fire. And he steps through and kind of strolls it around and whatnot, showing off his skill. And then when he stops, he points in the direction of Greenfields Company.
That's what
All
I
right,
said
quick
forward.
question. All right.
Oh, no. Question first.
I'm assuming smite counts as magic.
No magic. Martial skill.
So no smites.
Yeah, I just want to clarify because we have two people with smite.
Now, if you have an ability that allows you weapon-wise to do something, yeah, but
Like
no,
divine smite.
yeah, no, none of that.
Yeah.
But like, say you've got something that's like, oh well, this allows me a bonus, attack. You can use such a thing. Anything that lets you do something with a shield or your armor, but anything that is considered a spell does not count.
I
I'll step
assume
forward.
that since they're using like magic weapons are okay.
You say something about that? Do you ask?
Well, I mean, he's got the flaming spear.
Do you ask?
No,
I'm
that's
not
what I'm saying. I'm
asking
just
anything. I'm just
assuming
going
that
in. I'm pulling
the
out my
black
sword.
sword would be all right here.
I'm ready.
So as you walk through, Vesper, you walk through the flame, you can feel the magic drain off of all your items. And still, his spear is set on fire.
So this is a 3v3, is that what I'm understanding?
Mm-mm. It's a one-on-one.
Oh, one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So Vesper,
Vesper, you
first.
can step in the other side.
With us at a disadvantage. Fire magic items work.
Yeah.
Spear flame. It's not a magic item.
It's a spear of flame.
It's not magic at all.
So would a hammer of steam?
But do you conjure that with magic? Okay. And that's why I explained when she steps through, she feels the magic leave her, and his spear is on fire.
Then I'll tell Lou to toss me a sword.
I'll toss her my rapier.
He tells you, Zalto tells you, any magic used will be snuffed by the flames.
Toss you my shield.
I don't need it.
He'll get a disadvantage with it.
Okay.
He says,
I forgot I can use it, but he can't.
when necessary, if you cannot continue, yield, or the battle ends when one falls.